Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I am going to mention a couple of things in this video. Part of my March TBR, I am going to flash up my existing TBR that I have on Goodreads. It's a fluid TBR because basically it means something that doesn't hold or retain a shape. For me, I call my TBR fluid because it changes all the time. But this is what I came up with the last day of February. Here it is, March 3rd, when I'm making this video, and I've already added to it yesterday on the 2nd, and then today I think I just added 7 more titles. So I'm just going to show you the existing screenshot, and then I'm going to tell you some of the books and some of the things that I'm going to be doing this month. So to help me out, I have my laptop in front of me, literally on my lap, my Samsung tablet, and my cat on my right. My Samsung tablet has my NetGalley open, and I have my cell phone with some screenshots because I want to be as concise as possible and include as much as I can without making this video far too long. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my cell phone, and I'm going to bring up what I do is something called starring spreadsheets in my Google Sheets. And when I star a spreadsheet, and I want to see, you really can't see that with my phone. So let me just humor me for a second. And I want to, whoops, I brought up hopefully you didn't hear that because I accidentally brought up a YouTube video because it popped up. But I just want to show you what I mean when I star something in my, I'm going to get rid of this notification. Okay, I had my phone out, but if you see this here, these are the, whoops, there we go. These are the spreadsheets, and then we lost the start, so let's go back. These are the spreadsheets that I'm using most every day for the month of March. When April rolls around and my directions change, I will unstar some of these and star different ones. So what do I have starred? I have starred, one of the things that you're going to see in the title is March Mystery Madness, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. I always star my blog tour spreadsheet because I always accept blog tours pretty much every day of the week and of the month. So that spreadsheet grows and grows and grows and grows. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, as you can see. And I'm just being random here. And then something else that I do is I am participating in the Pop Sugar Challenge and in the 52 Books in 52 Weeks Challenge. So I am tracking those. So therefore those are in my starred spreadsheet. And I am reading a bunch of series, and these are the series. Let's go to 2021. These are the series that I plan on tackling in 2021. And let's see. And then the other things that I that I star in my spreadsheets are the challenges that I join each month. Now, prior to, say, October of 2020, I would join 8 or 9 different challenges every single month. Then in November and December, which I've talked about on this channel, were very difficult months for me, so I didn't join any challenges at all. And then in January, I don't think I did in January either, and I think I did one in February, which was Reading Library. So I'm kind of getting back in stride. So for March, I joined in Literary Fight Challenge, Reading Rivalry, the book Democracy, and I know there's one more. I guess those are the basic 3 standard challenges. But then there's a couple other things. One is the Court of Books and Readers Bracket Challenge, which is basically who can read the most amount of pages head to head. And then there's an elimination round, and if you pass on, I think there's going to be 4 rounds. This is round 1, and I'm in the challenge against 2 people, and then which of the 3 of us pass on to the next round will go on and go on. So that's my bracket challenge, and I guess I can bring that up, and I'm tracking that this way. And then the other thing that I joined in at the last minute on the 2nd, which was just yesterday, and I actually could make a note, but I won't make that note now, is reading War and Peace with a group of people that's being run. I think it's pretty much being run in Messenger. And so I'm going to just change. So they came out, the head of the group came out with a schedule. If anything falls, it's because my cat Toby is determined to jump up here. They came up with a schedule so that we can read this 1,300-page book by March 30th. So I joined in, so therefore I had to read March 1st and March 2nd's pages yesterday. And then today, for March 3rd, I've already read today's pages. I got up pretty early, and I said I wasn't going to make a note of it now, but I am. So I did read today's pages already, which was Part 1, Chapter 22 to Part 2, Chapter 4. So I finished that before I'm making this video. And then tomorrow I pick up on Chapter 5 of Part 2. So that is another challenge that I joined in. There's other challenges like the Shadow Lounge Monthly Readathon, which is usually the 2nd week of each month, and that's just to read as many books as you can over a 24 to 48 hour period. But I don't usually make a spreadsheet for that because my TBR goes very quickly, so to make something that I'm going to be doing by the 15th, it just wouldn't work for right now. And then, yep, my cat made it up here. He was determined. And then the most important spreadsheet that I keep on my Google Sheets is my 2021 reading schedule. And I started this spreadsheet in, I think, 2018. And I get it through Brock on YouTube. And you save it and then you modify it to your own use. And so I use this, and one of the things that I love about this spreadsheet is the fact that it has a summary page, and with that summary page I'm able to see at a glance everything that I've done. Like, for example, it tells me how many pages I've read each month, how many books I've read each month. Like, I read 10,000 pages, 10,550 pages in January, 13,010 pages in February, and in this month of March I've already read 2,735 pages. So that is something that I like having. Now, to tell you about how I'm doing, sorry for having this up there, so many challenges in just a 30-day period. It's each challenge has what is called prompts or criteria. I make individual spreadsheets and I write down, and I know you really can't see this, but I put down what the criteria is, and then I do that for each spreadsheet. And then I usually start with my NetGalley TBR or my Goodreads TBR, and I try to match whatever I already have an idea that I want to read into each challenge. And then as I move from spreadsheet to spreadsheet, I'm finding that I can take, like, for example, a book with green that happened across more than one challenge, so I get to use the same book. Or historical fiction happened across more than one challenge, so again I get to use the same book. books about diversity or BIPOC authors or characters. Again, that hits several challenges. So that's one way that I can do multiple challenges without overextending myself. And so with that, before we get to March Mystery Madness, I want to tell you a little bit about some of the books that I plan on reading in March. I already showed you at the beginning of this video the massive TBR I had, so we're certainly not going to go through that. But I will give you an idea of what I have in mind for this month. Now, to start off this month, during the last week of February, I started a book called Sacagawea by Ellie Waldo, and yes, I'm going to put that book cover up. And so when I was reading Sacagawea, it flowed into March, so I think I had 400 or 500 pages as of midnight, March 1st. So I finished that early Monday morning. I believe Monday was the 1st. Yeah, I finished that early Monday morning. And then I moved on to the Orphan X series, which I started in November. And that left me with 2 novellas and I think 2 novellas, 2, 3 books. And I'm going to pop them up. First, I'm going to pop up a screenshot of the series. And now I will tell you, which hopefully was up there if I'm editing this properly. And then I've already read The Intern, which was a novella, 84 pages. And then I read Out of the Dark, which was, I believe, book number 4. And that was a 500 plus page book. And then I read Into the Fire, which was an even longer book, which these books are absolutely excellent adventure, action adventure books. And then I read another novella, which was 94 pages, and that was called The List, and that was more about a secondary character named Joey or Josephine. And now I am reading the last book, or the most recent book in the series, and I should have grabbed these because I do have them as print arcs as well, and they're on my nightstand, but I'll just show you the screenshot. And now I'm reading Prodigal Son, which is, like I said, book number 6, and that's about 430 something pages, and I'm about 35% done with that one. So that's how I started March. But as I mentioned earlier, War and Peace, which hopefully if I didn't show it, I'll show it now. I started that one yesterday on the 2nd, and I will read that every day through the 30th. And every morning when I get up, I'll read my pages, and then I'll move on to the rest of my TBR. Now, a few other books I want to mention. In Reading Rivalry, the buddy read is Alex and Eliza, and I didn't write the author's name down, but I'm fairly certain it's Melissa De La Cruz. I'm 99% certain that's her name, so I will be reading that. That's already in my Goodreads. We needed a book that is the same title of a song, so somebody recommended Peter Pan, and Audible included that in my membership with an all-star cast, so I'm excited to listen to that. And then I needed a dystopian book, and dystopian is one of my least favorite genres. But I am on one of the Facebook groups I'm on. It's called Book Blogger Support Group, where you look at and comment on other people's blogs and vice versa. And one of the reviewers had reviewed Vox, and no, I did not write the author's name down. And so I read her review, and I'm like, okay, I guess I will be able to get this prompt in. And so I'm looking it up on Goodreads right now, and that's by Christina Dalcher. So I popped that book cover up. So that book, I didn't even put it in my want to read, so I'm putting it in my want to read right now. This is again, it's dystopian, set in the future. And the premise behind this book is the government decrees that women are no longer allowed to speak more than 100 words a day. So I can't wait to read this book. It looks really good. So I'm so glad that reviewer reviewed it, because now I get to add that into one of the challenges that asked for a dystopian title that I didn't think I was going to get. And then there's another thing that I'm excited to share with you, and it's going to start with the screenshot, and that is the what's her name? Veronica Speedwell series by Deanna Rayburn. And it's 6 books, and they are A Curious Beginning, A Perilous Undertaking. I'm going to put 2 covers up at the same time. A Treacherous Curse, A Dangerous Collaboration, A Murderous Relation, and An Unexpected Peril. Now let me tell you why I decided to read this entire series. I decided to read the series because when I saw the book cover for An Unexpected Peril on NetGalley, I was really attracted to the cover. And I know we don't always, or try not to judge a book by its cover, but sometimes a cover will snag your attention. And this one did. So I went to my friend Fashan, who's also WTF Are You Reading? And she says she's going to revive her channel. So here's your challenge, Fashan. Revive your channel. So I said to Fashan, I said, have you ever read any books by Deanna Rayburn? And I told her about An Unexpected Peril popping up on NetGalley. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my spreadsheet back. I got excited and I moved and I lost my spreadsheet. So she's like, oh my gosh, Robin, I love Deanna Rayburn. And so she showed me her Audible list that she has every single book. So I was able to grab all 5 of the previous books, and I've already named them, and they are definitely in my lineup. Another book that I'm going to read is, I needed a book that focused on grief and betrayal for one of the prompts in Reading Rivalry. A very difficult thing for me to read about, but I'm going to try it. And the book I chose for that, based on a recommendation, are 3 Things I Know Are True by Betty Cully. So I'm going to read that. And I guess we'll stop there, because everything else that I have on my TBR going, further down, that starts with my April blog tour titles. No, actually, I have 3 that are still in March. Let me tell you about those 3. I won't bother telling you about April's. They are The Path to Sunshine Cove by Rayanne Thane, Her Revenge by Emma Talon, and Tell No Lies by Allison Brennan. And then I also have The Whisper by Cheryl Brown. I don't know if I'm doing a blog tour on this book, but I decided to grab it. And then everything else I have for blog tours is in April, so we'll save that for another video. There are 3 other books I do want to tell you about. The first 2 are historical fiction books that I've had in my TBR for a good 3 weeks now. And they are The Girl Who Escaped Auschwitz by Ellie Midwood. And I think I've read 3 books by her so far, and her historical fiction books are fabulous. So I'm excited to read that one. And then my friend Elizabeth mentioned this book here called The Girl from the Mountains by Christina Luchek Berger. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And Elizabeth gave this book 5 stars, so I did add this to my TBR. And the last book I want to mention, let me just grab something here, is The Bounty, and that is by Janet Ivanovich and Steve Hamilton, and it's book number 7 in the Fox and O'Hare series. And the reason that I decided to click Goodreads on this is because Janet Ivanovich is the first author, and she wrote the first novella, which was The Shell Game, but then the next several books, with Lee Goldberg, she wrote The Shell Game, Pros and Cons, The Caper. I read The Shell Game and Pros and Cons, but I wasn't able to find The Caper. They also wrote The Heist, The Chase, The Job, and The Scam, Oh, and The Pursuit, read all of those. But then she changed co-authors with The Big Kahuna, and that was with why is his name is minimized? Oh, Peter Ivanovich. I'm not sure if that's her son or her husband. I read that one already. And then the last book is The Bounty, and it's not quite out yet. It will be out on March 23rd this month, and she co-authors that with Steve Hamilton. So I will finish that series with The Bounty in just a couple of days, maybe a week or so. It'll definitely before the 23rd, and then I will write a combined series review for all of these books in the Fox and O'Hare series. So that brings up everything in the first part of March that I will be reading, and then after I get through with The Bounty, I will start reading April's books, and that means that I hope to read all the prompt books for the prompts for the challenges that I'm in, the series that I want to finish. And then I do have a couple other books that I do kind of want to fit in. I want to fit in a James Patterson book. His 11th, let's see. I do want to tell you about this one because I'm about 3 or 4 years behind in this series, and I really want to start reading it again, so it's worth mentioning. And I'm bringing up the spreadsheet now. This is 11th Hour by James Patterson, either Andrew Gross or Maxine Pietro, depending on what number we are in the series. I'm years behind on this series because there's 20 books out. So I do plan on restarting that series. So I think that was a worthwhile mention to this video. Now, let's see how long this video is. 22 minutes. Let's shift directions and get into the second part of the title of the video, which is March Mystery Madness. March Mystery Madness, or it could be Mystery Madness. Yeah, it's March Mystery Madness, hashtag, is hosted by Lizzie Faye, Loves Books, and other co-hosts. All of this is going to be in the description below. So it's going to be a very long description, but don't worry, it'll be there. This book has 8 prompts and 1 bonus. And it took a little bit of digging, and I think, if I'm correct, all 8 of these prompts came from my NetGalley TBR, and here they are. The first prompt is single, a single word title, so I chose Serpentine by Jonathan Kellerman. Not going to tell you what these books are about, but I'm just going to tell you what they are. The second prompt is number, so I found 5 Little Words by Jackie Walsh. I think that came out in October, but it's still in my TBR. Then the next one was person, and I went through every single arc, and I have 500. And any books that I have in my NetGalley TBR that have a person's name in it are romances. So I saw that The Prodigal Son by Greg Hurwitz, since son is a person, place, or a thing as a noun, we're going to go with Prodigal Son, which, as I mentioned earlier, I am currently reading. But for the heck of Mystery Madness, I'm popping that book cover up now. Then place, I chose a cozy mystery, and that is Mystery at the Abbey Hotel by Claire Chase. I think I have read, maybe it's the Eve Mallow series. I may have read all of them, or may have read a couple of them. I do have Goodreads up, so let's go see how many of these I have read. And if I have not read them all, I have them all, but I'm just waiting for Goodreads to load, so bear with me. It says waiting for Goodreads.com. Okay, here we go. Let's find out. Claire Chase. I have read book 1, which was Mystery on Hidden Lane, Mystery at Apple Tree. Oh, okay. I read the first. Okay, I am on time with the series. I'm kind of proud of myself because I have so many books and there's so little time, but I'm up to date with that. So that's kind of cool. I'm pretty happy about that now. So the next book in that series, again, is Mystery at the Abbey Hotel. So I'm definitely reading that for March Mystery Madness. And then for weather, I chose Arctic Storm Rising by Dale Bowen. For color, that was a hard one. So I chose an action book, which I'm not really into action, but I'm reading the Orphan X series. So for that one, it's the Tom Clancy type book by Jeff Rovin called The Black Order. A longer name, but the screenshot will be up there. For time, I couldn't find anything with time in the title, but I think this will work. So I chose 3 Missing Days by Colleen Koble. And if I'm not mistaken, I did read One Little Lies, and let's find out. For Colleen Koble, I have read One Little Lie. Yes, I read that one back, just in August. And then I read 2 Reasons to Run. I read that one in August as well. And those are both reviewed on NetGalley in my blog. So now I will be reading 3 Missing Days by Colleen Koble, and that will be out April 6th. So I'm happy that I have that one. For space, that was a hard one because I was thinking space might involve the future, and the only mystery books that I have would be the future, would be the J.D. Robb books. But the latest book, Faithless in Death, came out in February, and I've already read that. And I don't have yet an arc for the newest one, so I decided to go with Last Place You Look by Louisa Scar. I figure that'll work. It looks like it'll work. And then there's a bonus for March Mystery Madness, and I chose A Curious Beginning, the Deanna Rayburn book that I showed earlier, so I'm going to pop that up again. And so those are the 9 books I will be reading for March Mystery Madness. I am so excited. I have to tell you something. Sorry for putting the tablet, but I do want to move my laptop because I get kind of effusive when I talk. I have done some last minute things this month. The first last minute thing I did was around the 28th of February, the last day of February. I joined 2 challenges that I wasn't going to join. On the 2nd, I joined the War and Peace, which started on the 1st. And then at the last, maybe around the 25th or 26th, I saw Lizzie Faye's video about March Mystery Madness. But to be honest with you, I forgot all about it until I saw a message from her in my YouTube notifications, like, looking forward to your review, Robin. I'm like, oh, I guess I better do it. So this again is last minute. So this is very, very exciting for me to do all of this because I had been in the funk at the end of the year, and things are kind of turning around, and I'm just really excited. So that's as much as I will give you. Hopefully around the middle of the month, I will come back and give you the rest of my TBR that will carry me from the 15th to the 31st. So that is it, everybody. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.